you're making your way through Iraq. You've taken out all the early warning systems. The war is now fully on. The regular troops have arrived. I always hear, I've heard a lot of Rangers, Delta guys talk about Haditha Dam.
Yeah.
And you were at Haditha Dam,
Yes.
and I frankly don't know much about it. I know that it's important. I doubt many people my age know much about it. Why was Haditha Dam such a critical battle? And can you explain what happened at Haditha Dam?
You bet. You bet. And I wrote a book a couple years ago. I don't know if I'm sure you knew that, but Death Waits in the Dark. But that chapter is the biggest chapter in the book about Haditha Dam. And it was so strategically, the dam, it was a hydroelectric dam. So it provided electricity from Haditha, which is pretty good ways north. It's on, Tigris and Euphrates, and provide electricity all the way down to Baghdad. So for the Iraqis, they needed to secure it to make sure. Plus, there was a great big lake to the north of it, and if anything would have happened, well, it would have flooded all those towns and killed thousands of people, downstream. So our mission was to take and seize the dam, and it was with 375 Rangers, and then we had a few Delta guys with us too, the heavy breachers. So they had to take the dam and then go through it and look for any intelligence or whoever was left there at the dam. And then I never will forget this. They told us expect 24 hours, and then we would be relieved by an armor unit coming through with tanks. So then they would get there, and it was a classic special operations mission to begin with. So the Rangers taking hold, and the weather was really, really bad. So the cloud ceilings were very low, and so they couldn't get fixed wing aircraft in there like F-16s and bombers or B-1s to help, support the guys on the ground there. And there was quite a bit of air defense artillery around the dam, of course, to protect it from any body or anything that may come in. In the town of Haditha, which was just to the south, there was a very large Army division of Republican Guards. So they're pretty highly trained soldiers. And then their Fedayeen. So their Fedayeen are their special forces guys so much. And so we got the order to go up there, support 375. And again, it was a busy time. We were planning the rescue of Private Jessica Lynch simultaneously. And I mean, there was a lot going on. So our team of 2AHs, we deployed up on a C-17. They flew us up there. The Rangers had done an airfield seizure. They parachuted into the airfield, which is H1. And it's an old oil field refinery, I think, pump station from back in the day. Some old torn down buildings at the airfield. So we get on the ground, and the Rangers had already deployed. They were headed to the dam. And then by the time we got there, they were on the dam and there weren't very many folks there, and they had a few engagements. A couple guys had gotten wounded. So we got our AHs off, went up and got our brief from the commander at 375. Well, and then all hell broke loose at the dam. So the division that was the Iraqi division just south had gotten the word that, hey, the Americans had taken the dam. Well, the Iraqis thought that we were going to blow the dam up, and we thought the Iraqis were going to blow the dam up. If we'd have just got on a telephone and says, hey, we're here to protect and hold this dam, we don't want anything, you know what I'm saying? It would have saved thousands of lives. But anyway, so there was a massive attack, and there was I think about 138 Rangers on the dam. And I tried to come up on the radio to contact the Ranger fire supporters there at the dam to get a situation report, so we're not, flying in there blind and to see what was going on. And I could not. I tried and tried and tried. I could hear them, and we were like, doggone, we need to get going. So we take off. It was 2 AHs, and then we had an MH-6 with us also. So that's how we had configured for the beginning days of the Iraqi war. So the MH-6, he had a flare ball on his helicopter. So he acted kind of as our scout. Now, going back to Vietnam, it was called a pink team. So they would have a Loach, a scout, and then 2 Cobra gunships. Well, it was a very effective team in those days. So that's why we put another Little Bird with us, used that as a scout, and then the 2 AHs as the gunships. And then they could use that forward-looking infrared. It's a thermal, so it sees heat, and then give us some early warning, like, hey, I got a target up here. I got some folks. They could see them before we could see them with our night vision goggles. So it was very effective. And if anything happened to us, if we got shot down or had maintenance, then they could come in, pick us up, and, take us back. So it gave us a good feeling that other Little Bird was there, so he could, take care of us if something happened. So we take off. We're probably a minute or two down the route. It was about an 18-minute flight to the dam. And I'm listening to this on the radio now. I mean, it is chaos. I mean, everybody's calling for fire support. Where are the Little Birds? Hey, I'm being attacked by a company-sized element on the east. We're being attacked it was just everywhere. And I kept calling the fire support NCO, or the fire support sergeant. He was in a blocking position on the west side of the dam. Pardon me. And that was that was always our first contact, is to contact that fire supporter. That's because we're fire supporters. That's what we do. We support the ground force. And I couldn't get him on the radio. And then every time he would key the mic, I could hear the gunfire intensify, to include AKs and automatic weapons from the Iraqis, and then automatic weapons on our side. And guys were screaming and hollering, hey, taking fire from the right, taking fire from the left, and on and on and on. And at this point, we're like, we have got to get there, man. We've got to get there. And I was praying for tailwinds. I was praying for a little extra power, man. I was like, come on, baby, we got to get there. So we're probably about 3 minutes out, and our plan was to come in from the north over the lake, and the dam's to the south. The dam kind of runs east and west. Now, let me give you a picture of this dam. It's one of the largest structures in the world. It's almost 5 miles long and 300 feet tall. I'm thinking dam. I'm like, yeah, okay, I've seen dams at the lake, and, not like Hoover Dam or something like that. So, but we had looked at photographs and, of course, the maps, and had a good idea of the size of this structure. And it was a hydroelectric dam. So there's wires. It looked like a spider web. So wires and helicopters don't mix very well. So that was another, thing that we had to think about and watch out for. So, and we're in lead, and then we got a trail aircraft, and then Tony Ely, he was flying the MH, and they just peel off, and then they'll watch our 6 o'clock, or watch behind us, to make sure nobody, sneaks up on us with some type of weapon system or whatever the case. And I looked at the guy I was flying with, and I was very angry. I said, you know what? A man standing on the moon can talk to Houston, Texas in the 60s, and I'm 5 miles away and I can't talk to this guy. And I was just so frustrated because when they hear us, it's like, oh, okay, they're coming. It gives them some relief, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And we were just nervous as could be. And I just knew those guys because they were about to be overrun. And we came up to the dam. I finally got Mo, I'll say his name. He was the FS NCO, fire support sergeant. And he said, hey, where are you guys? I said, man, we're like a minute out. And he's like, okay. He says, please hurry. Please hurry. And we bumped up over the dam. And what we do is we come in and then we do a cyclic climb. We stay low to the ground. And then we do a cyclic climb. It's called a bump, and that gives us elevation. We bump up to 200 or 300 feet, and then we can look over the battlefield and get a good picture of what's going on in those few seconds. And we were getting ready to bump, and then we look at each other. Another pilot look at each other, and we're fucked. Excuse my French, man.
No, it's fine.
But it looked like, imagine the Rolling Stones walking out on stage in London, England, and when the lights go and all the flashes, thousands. That's the best way I can explain it, man. I'd never seen so many tracers and missiles and just, oh my gosh, man, it was just crazy. And I pretty much told myself, I said, well, I'm probably going to get killed tonight, but that's okay. I'm here doing what I'm supposed to do, and I got to focus on protecting my buddies on the ground. So we bump up. Right there's the blocking position, and there was about a company-sized element attacking that blocking. So 100 dudes or better. And our first engagement in front of those guys was 12 meters. 12 meters. We shot minigun and rockets, and then our Dash 2, he came over, and we'll split up that target or personnel or whatever. And they're not going to shoot what we shoot, so they made an engagement. We came back around, made another engagement each, and then I got a call for fire from the east side of the dam. So we were like, oh my gosh, man, this is going to be a long, long night. So again, another ranger over there was calling for fire support. They were being attacked. So I called him I answered him, and I said, hey, we're going to be right there, man. Just hold on. I mean, there were hundreds of lasers and again, tracers and wires and it was pretty chaotic.
How long did it take you guys to beat back the Iraqi forces, and how many of the Iraqis do you think even survived to retreat?
I'd say that first night it was probably a force of 4,000 or 5,000. Yeah, it was a division of Iraqis, so you're looking at probably 8,000 to 10,000 personnel in that division, and it was just wave. It was just and I've watched old movies from the Civil War to Korea to Vietnam, and it was just a wave after wave after wave of those enemy soldiers attacking us, attacking the dam, because they thought that we were going to blow the dam up. So they're trying to protect their homes and their what they had there. So
how long from the moment it started to the ending of Haditha Dam? Was it a day, 2 days? How long did it take for the whole thing to be resolved?
The 24-hour mission was 7 days.
Oh, really? A week?
Yes, sir. Yeah. But it was the biggest battle of the Iraqi war. No question about it. But nothing was ever really written about it, or, and I witnessed so many acts of heroism over those nights, and, guys would get wounded, and guys would, Greg Birch, he was the sergeant major there at 375 at the time. I'd watch him run up and down that dam telling the guys, hey, stay in the fight. What do you need? You need ammo, you need water, hey, the AHs are here. We're going to be good. And he actually rescued a couple of wounded Iraqi soldiers that had been shot in the assault, and under fire, ran down there and drug this guy back to safety. And he's a former Delta operator. And man, it was just crazy. And read the book. the detailed, very detailed stories in there. And I know I'm leaving a lot of things out, but yeah, it was a very big battle, and we're all just blessed to be here today after flying through that crap night after night after night. And